Audience friends, the first Xiangxia script show is about to begin. Heavenly Fairy Game is a hypertime virtual game created by the Earth Alliance for 10 years. The practice cheats in the game are claimed to be real. Players can experience Second Life in the game and obtain practice cheats. This will be a game of Genesis that will be recorded in the annals of human history and change the future of the Earth. Our program is a popular science program for the general public to prevent players from entering the game and encountering various unfavorable experiences because of being too real. After entering the show, the players will act as characters in the game and live to the end of the plot. They will earn points according to their respective tasks. The person with the top points will receive 30 million Union coins. Second place will get 10 million Union currency. The third place will receive 5 million Union coins. After the end of the first episode, the top 10 can choose to continue participating. Every time you stick to one episode, as long as you survive, regardless of your ranking, you can get 1 million Alliance coins, enter the top 3, and you can also enjoy the normal reward rules. There were 50 players participating in the first program. Because this program is too real, there will be a certain degree of danger. The players have signed a life and death guarantee. The Alliance government has also bought insurance for each player. In the event of an accidental death, the player's family will receive 1 million Union coins. The show is about to start, are you ready? Along with the host's passionate shouts, there were cheers from the gymnasium on the radio. Yi Xiaofeng leaned against the wall with a look of expectation. Here is his waiting room. It is only a dozen square meters. The opposite wall hangs the scene of the recording. The huge stadium is overcrowded and the lights are dim, but most of the audience holds glow sticks in their hands, just like the concert scene. He is about to go out and enter the game of Heavenly Dao Xianxia. His eyes became erratic, and his thoughts fell into memories. Yi Xiaofeng, 25 years old, is considered a successful person. Because he has supernatural powers. Perhaps because of rebirth, he started cheating since he was 7 years old. His eyes can see some hidden, unowned value things. For example, the wallet in the grass of the park, the ring in the garbage dump, etc. Can even judge the value of the item. Can be used for betting on stones, betting on jade and identifying antiques. Without committing a crime, relying on the eyes of these supernatural powers, he began to make a fortune. After he became an adult, his fortune had accumulated to hundreds of millions. This is still his lazy situation. He thinks that as long as he is comfortable, he doesn't need to be rich, so as not to cause unnecessary trouble. Until one day, he saw an advertisement on TV. Do you want to get rich overnight? Do you want to experience a life you dare not think about? Do you want to live forever? A high-spirited voice full of fighting spirit came from the TV screen, and a video that looked like a movie trailer was playing. Tiandao Xiangxia game. 100% real. Allows you to appreciate the spirit of Dongfang Xiangxia. In the video, 2 monks are fighting together, shaking the mountains and rivers, and the people are full of enthusiasm. The picture turned, a white-haired old man was sitting on the top of the mountain to practice, and the glow of light was scattered on him. He turned into light, and there seemed to be a pair of wings behind him, which rose with the light. Yahua Dengxian. Yi Xiaofeng thought it was good and started to check it online. Although it is a rebirth, the background of the earth has been greatly changed. He died in 2020 in his previous life, but now it is decades later, and the world structure has also undergone great changes. The human science and technology civilization has spread to the solar system, but the environment is getting worse and worse. Even if it is effectively controlled and improved, it is useless. Heavenly Way Fairy Game is a game to improve the Earth's environment. It is said that this game contains immortal cultivation techniques. In the process of real-life practice, all mankind can awaken the spiritual energy in the depths of the earth, making the earth return to its ancestors and become full of vitality before. Environment of Because this game is too real, the Earth Alliance dare not directly test it, so it created a reality show and tested it through live broadcast to let the public know the content of this game in advance. This reality show has a huge gimmick, and it is only recruited in the East for the time being. After the registration is successful, it has to be screened by the program group. Yi Xiaofeng got more excited as she watched. Can cultivate immortals. So my golden finger is waiting here. Yi Xiaofeng began to call to sign up. Within a week, he signed up successfully. His reason for signing up is very simple. The reason is, Heavenly Fairy Game is a good game that can improve the Earth's environment. I support it very much. I am willing to donate 100 million to the program group, so that the program group can organize the program with peace of mind, so that the staff will not be so tired. Thoughts returned to reality. Yi Xiaofeng heard the host start to recite the names of the players. The first contestant, named Zhang Tianxin, is a corporate elite by profession. He has been a fan of Xiangxia novels since he was a child, so he signed up as soon as he saw our program promotion. The second player. The third player. Every time the host reads a contestant, there will be deafening cheers and applause. Yi Xiaofeng is stunned secretly. The publicity of the program group is a bit big. This month, he didn't pay much attention, and underestimated the popularity of Game of Heavenly Dao. Until the 37th place. Yi Xiaofeng's waiting room door was pushed open, and a cute girl in professional attire walked in and smiled. It's time for you to go out, I'll show you the way. Yi Xiaofeng nodded. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com followed her out. The light in the corridor is not bright, and there are busy staff on both sides. The player's name is Yi Xiaofeng. The host started to introduce Yi Xiaofeng, only general information, and did not cause much uproar. Among the 50 players, he is not the richest, but he is the most generous. It is impossible for the show crew to mention this. Even though he was still on the corridor, he could hear the noise outside. This makes him even more excited. Walking all the way, the staff along the way looked at him with strange eyes. Is obviously looking at the silly big money eyes. Yi Xiaofeng turned a blind eye. He found a strange thing. He did not see other players. I haven't seen other players when I came to training before, and I haven't seen them now. So mysterious. Why can't you let the players meet? After all, Yi Xiaofeng's understanding of Game of Heavenly Dao Xianxia is not that deep. The training of program group is only about some common sense teaching of the fairy world. The instructor told him that he must behave like an NPC, otherwise once he is exposed, he will be easily eliminated. Could the players' identities be hidden in the game? Walking to the end of the corridor, the staff at the door handed over a game helmet for Yi Xiaofeng to wear. After put it on, Yi Xiaofeng couldn't see anything, it was dark. No power. He couldn't help asking. Don't worry, we will support you, don't take off your helmet, otherwise you will be disqualified. The voice of the staff member came. Is really mysterious. Yi Xiaofeng complained in his heart, but was too lazy to question it. Who do you think? I bet Tang Xiao Tang, cute girl kills the game, believe it or not. Just kidding, the bonus is as high as tens of millions. Will you give up the bonus for the girl? If you get the bonus, you will still lack the girl? How beautiful is it? Ye Zhou is good. It is said that he is a middleweight mixed martial arts champion. He should have an advantage in this kind of conflicting game. I think it still depends on EQ, only those with high EQ can become the first. I really want to join, too. It is said that the Fairy Game of Heaven will be publicly tested in the future, becoming a global Genesis game, and may even turn the Earth into the age of cultivating immortals. This show has to be watched carefully, this is the strategy. The audience at the scene looked at each projection screen and talked a lot. The host is not idle either, always introducing the situation in the game. The live broadcast barrage on the internet has been refreshing. Yi Xiaofeng walked along the tree-lined path. After walking hundreds of meters, he suddenly realized something was wrong. He felt dizzy. Oops! Is it poisonous here? Yi Xiaofeng looked around vigilantly, but found no abnormalities. Wait, is it that I am too imaginary? Yi Xiaofeng thought of this, suddenly speechless. He quickly took out a pill from his arms and poured it into his mouth. It melts in the throat. After a while, he no longer felt any discomfort. As expected, Yi Xiaofeng felt a crow flying over his head. Audiences, we can see that due to lack of yang in the role, player Yi Xiaofeng's body is weak, and he started taking medicine just a few steps away. It is really sympathetic. The host noticed Yi Xiaofeng's condition and couldn't help but said seriously. As soon as he said this, the audience burst into laughter. Because of taking medicine, Yi Xiaofeng has gained some attention. Yi Xiaofeng doesn't know yet, otherwise it must be embarrassing. This is not a good thing. Walking along, Yi Xiaofeng suddenly caught a glimpse of a faint red light in the bush next to him. He rubbed his eyes and realized that he did see the red light. The red light is very strange, piercing through the leaves, twinkling. This red light can only be seen by Yi Xiaofeng. Represents chance. Yi Xiaofeng looked around. After confirming that there was no one, he immediately walked over and looked aside the bushes. It turned out to be an ancient blue book. The red light on the book disappeared quickly and no longer flashed. He picked up the book and saw 5 characters on the cover, Chunyang 5 sword art. Is this a technique? Yi Xiaofeng looked over in surprise. He immediately put the pure Yang 5 sword art in his arms, then turned around, pretending that he hadn't seen anything. The audience who was watching his live broadcast all exploded. I wipe it. Can this also find a cheat? How does this guy know there are cheats in the grass? It's too fake. He's opening the hanger. He didn't even look through it carefully, he just walked over and found it. Maybe someone got some secret clues before. Is this the first player to find a cheat? The pure Yang 5 sword Ju, it sounds awesome. The host was also excited at the show recording scene. Dear viewers, our player Yi Xiaofeng was the first to find the cheats. The game has just started, and he found the top 3 peerless cheats in this script. It's really amazing. The audience was in an uproar. Yi Xiaofeng's attention began to skyrocket. The host has a desk book. He doesn't know the plot direction, but he has the ranking of related items in the game plot. In the list of cheats, the pure Yang 5 sword Ju ranks the top 3. In less than 10 minutes, the news that Yi Xiaofeng found the pure Yang 5 sword Ju with his unlucky luck quickly made the hot search, and it also attracted more passers-by to watch the live broadcast. After Yi Xiaofeng put the pure Yang 5 sword Ju away, he moved on. This baby can't be kept in the house, it might be stolen. To prevent being suspected of being sneaky, Yi Xiaofeng decided to go out. Questioning his servants all the way, Yi Xiaofeng finally walked out of the Wang family mansion. This Wang family is really big. If Miss Wang family likes me, how good would it be? Yi Xiaofeng thought happily. He just thought, he is not really Zhang Junyi. The streets of Junyang City are prosperous, with people coming and going. There are shouts and chants on both sides of the street, which is a scene of a prosperous city in the south of the Yangtze River in ancient times. Yi Xiaofeng also didn't rush to get information, but wandered on the street. Along the way, he saw a lot of strangely dressed people, who were not ordinary people at first glance. Some wore animal skins, like darts. Some wear Taoist gowns, and they may be cultivators. If I choose the right path, I will have a chance to increase it. If I turn around, I might get a chance. Yi Xiaofeng thought silently. Using his current strength to go to the mansion of the Tang City Lord, it is very likely that he will be killed by the evil cultivator and the evil cultivator. Righteous monks can kill demons, and evil monks will naturally kill righteous monks. Yi Xiaofeng began to hang around some stalls. His strange behavior attracted the attention of the host. The kidney deficiency player did not go straight to the city lord's mansion, but started shopping. It seems that he has tasted the sweetness and wants to pick up treasures again. The host smiled. S remarks once again caused a burst of laughter. Obviously, both the host and the audience felt that Yi Xiaofeng was lucky in the past, and this guy has no champion appearance at all. Seeing his swaying way when walking, I feel that children can kill him. Blinked. 2 hours passed. Yi Xiaofeng can't stand it anymore. Every time I bend and squat down, it is a challenge. Even with the medicine, it is too uncomfortable. Go shopping, he will die. He stopped wandering, and began to inquire about the direction of the city lord's mansion. You also want to go to the city lord's mansion? Advise you not to go. The Tang city lord died too miserably. There are ghosts in the city lord's mansion. In the past 2 months, more than 10 qi refiners have died in the city lord's mansion. The uncle who sells candied haws persuades in fear. Yi Xiaofeng raised his eyebrows. Is so difficult? After all, this is the world of Xiangxia, and it is normal for ghosts to appear. He patiently asked the direction of the city lord's mansion, but the uncle couldn't help him, so he could only tell the truth. More than 20 minutes later, Yi Xiaofeng finally came to the city lord's mansion. At this moment, there were a lot of people at the gate of the city lord's mansion. People were pointing and talking with each other. Another maid died. It is said that the maid's eyes were dug out. So miserable? Why doesn't the court send anyone to investigate? How can it be so fast? Reading www.yuyuganshu.com just takes time to pass the official documents layer by layer. Besides, Chunyang City is far away from the king's capital. Miss Tang has issued a reward. Recently, monks will come to investigate one after another. Hey, how can a good person like the city lord of Tang suffer such bad luck? Listening to people's comments, Yi Xiaofeng finally understood. It turns out that the beginning of the plot was triggered by Miss Tang's offer. In other words, the other 14 monks came to investigate the truth for the sake of offering a reward. Snapped. Someone patted Yi Xiaofeng on the shoulder suddenly, making him shake all over, and subconsciously drew his sword. Xian Tai, don't be nervous, I'm not malicious. A man in Xingyi stood behind Yi Xiaofeng and smiled. He is handsome, looks like a handsome young man, and holds a folding fan in his hand. Perhaps Zhou Gongjin looks like this alive. Yi Xiaofeng let out a sigh of relief, and complained, this sun, scaring people will scare people to death. Young Master Xingyi said with a smile, I think that young master is extraordinary, he must not be a mortal. You also came because of a reward. Yi Xiaofeng suddenly suspected that he was a player when he heard it. No, I just passed by Chunyang City, and when I heard it was haunted, I came to have a look. As for the reward, I don't care. Yi Xiaofeng shook his head. In order to make people believe that he is an NPC, he continued, oh, the reputation of the city lord of Tang is widely spread. His benevolence and righteousness are the model of my generation. I did not expect to suffer such bad luck. I really am angry with all people and gods. I am a monk. But don't allow ghosts to mess with the world. He was righteous and awe-inspiring, and his eyes were even moist. Young Master Xingyi raised his eyebrows and said in secret, did I find an important NPC? Where is the sun from? Seeing your demeanor, you should also be asking for justice for the Lord of Tang City. Yi Xiaofeng looked at the son of King Ai and asked seriously. Young Master King Ai was embarrassed and said, I am named Zhengshu. It is indispensable for the monks of my generation to kill demons and demons. I must go to this city lord's mansion. Yi Xiaofeng exclaimed, not bad, not bad. He turned around and sighed, Master Zheng, my name is Zhang Junyi. It is true that I have been attacked by monsters. I don't have much time. I want to do a good thing before my death. If you can help me, I will be alone. How about leaving all the jerkiness and treasure to you? Zheng Shu's eyes lit up when he heard it. Then, he felt something was wrong again. This guy is not talking about him, right? Yi Xiaofeng felt his gaze and immediately gave a fake cough, and said, "Of course, I didn't just tell you these words, but I think that being an avenger for Tang City Lord is worthy of my inheritance. Thinking that back then, I made a sword, no more, or not to mention it, I am ashamed to say it now." Zheng Shu's eyes changed when he looked at him. This person is really an expert. From this spoken word, there are stories at the first glance. It seems that I chose the right way to be the right way. The opportunity is good, not bad. Zheng Shu thought happily. The Heavenly Dao Xiangxia game will be publicly tested in the future, and the things they have obtained now will be kept in the future. And according to his intelligence, this game is not simple, and if you can get the benefits, you have to get as much as you can. The two continued to chat. The host noticed their communication, so they switched their screens to the big screen, and their conversation made the audience laugh. The barrage of various live broadcasts on the internet has surged. Niu Bian, life is like a play, it all depends on acting. I believe it. If you don't blow it, you can't black. It is indeed possible that such a diseased seedling is an expert. Ha 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 ha, do you want to laugh at me? I feel Zheng Shu is also acting. It's starting to show. Yi Xiaofeng chatted with Zheng Shu for a while, and began to call him brothers and sisters. Yi Xiaofeng wanted to talk about the past glory from time to time, but held back. This attitude of no silver 300 taels here made Zheng Shu even believe that he was an expert. After half an hour, the two squeezed through the crowd together and walked into the city lord's mansion. Yi Xiaofeng was almost out of breath by the crowd. So weak. Is weaker than the players. Zheng Shu firmly believes that he is a hidden expert, which will trigger a great opportunity. The officers and soldiers guarding the gate of the city lord's mansion stopped them. We are monks. We are here to investigate the cause of the death of the city lord of Tang and get rid of ghosts. Yi Xiaofeng said solemnly. After speaking, he couldn't help coughing. The officers and soldiers looked at him questioningly. So weak. Can also eliminate ghosts? Zheng Shu followed, and the meaning of the words was similar to that of Yi Xiaofeng. The officers and soldiers will be suspicious, and then let go. After entering the city lord's mansion, they saw figures in the courtyards, gardens, and corridors. Except for the shivering subordinates, all of them were monks who came to eliminate demons. Zheng Shu looked around, as if judging who were the players. Yi Xiaofeng began to wander around. It is impossible to find the real murderer by searching alone. Still have to understand the situation. He found an old man and asked, "How long have you been here?" The old man was obviously not the first time to answer, and said impatiently, "I have lived in the city lord's mansion for 20 years. When the city lord of Tang died, I was washing my feet. At that time, I heard a weird laughter. When I went, I saw the Tang city lord died in the lobby with several palm prints on his chest. His eyeballs were poached away, and I still don't know where. Have to. Has become a process." Yi Xiaofeng asked, "Do you know anything else?" The old man said in a bad mood, "Wait until the evening, you will understand that there are some things you have to experience by yourself." Negative ratings. The attitude is too bad. Yi Xiaofeng turned around and began to ask the other servants. Other people did the same. They didn't see how Tang City Lord died, but they saw the death of Tang City Lord in the same way, and they all heard weird laughter. Yi Xiaofeng inquired, and went straight to the lobby. There were also a group of people standing at the entrance of the lobby, but fortunately it was not too crowded. Yi Xiaofeng squeezed in and saw two women holding hands and talking in the hall. One was as fat as a pig and the other was graceful and charming. 3 lines of words appeared before his eyes: name, Wang Yanran identity, Miss Wang Jia communication, you once rescued her in the hands of a bandit, which made her love you. As long as you express kindness, she will agree with her. Yi Xiaofeng's heartbeat suddenly accelerated. Such a big beauty actually admires him? Anyway, there are still 7 days, do you want to accept it first and have a relationship with her? Yi Xiaofeng looked at the beautiful lady who was all over the country, and his throat became dry. Hey! Zhang Gongzi! Why are you here? Are you worried about me? The woman who was as fat as a pig noticed Yi Xiaofeng's arrival, and she was pleasantly surprised, and then pounced on Yi Xiaofeng. Fug! Yi Xiaofeng was frightened, stepped back quickly, and waved his hand, Miss, calm down, calm down. This woman is estimated to be 200 to 300 catties. If his weak body is thrown down by her, he might go back to the west. Wang Yanran stopped and cast a raspy look at him, which made him almost vomit. So this is Wang Yanran. I just said, how could such a good thing happen? Yi Qian, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com, this is the young master Zhang I'm talking about. Don't look at him like this. He was harmed by female fairies. If it weren't for him, I would have been ruined by bandits. Wang Yanran introduced with a smile, and when she came to the back, she hid her face and sobbed. Yi Xiaofeng. The servants and monks at the door were equally speechless. Who dares to ruin you? The audience who watched the live broadcast all laughed and sent bullet screens. Tang Yuqian saluted Yi Xiaofeng's style, and smiled, Mr. Zhang, thank you for your action, otherwise my good friend might be, alas. Her eyebrows are full of fatigue. Yi Xiaofeng waved his hand and said, seeing uneven roads is what my generation of monks should do. Wang Yanran followed, by the way, young Master Zhang, this is the daughter of City Lord Tang, you are so amazing, help her find out where the evil is. Tang City Lord's daughter? Yi Xiaofeng couldn't help but look again at Tang Yuqian. Do not know why. Looking at Tang Yuqian again, Yi Xiaofeng felt uneasy inexplicably. Although she looks attractive, she gives him a very strange feeling. This feeling is too strong. And many more. Isn't she the murderer? Yi Xiaofeng was wary in his heart, but on the surface he was still very calm, and said, it is my duty to come to the lobby to inspect the crime scene. After finished speaking, he began to wander around the lobby. He deliberately didn't go to see Tang Yuqian. Tang Yuqian probably wouldn't do anything to him in the public. After all, this is a fairy game. It must be more than just investigating the case. Maybe there will be a monk war in the end. Apart from completing the task, I have to survive. Yi Xiaofeng thought silently. Yi Xiaofeng wandered around in the lobby, searching for a long time, but found no suspicious signs. It seems that there is no chance here. Yi Xiaofeng thought helplessly. His main task is to obtain pure yang pill, which is the property of the Tang City Lord. Once the Tang City Lord died, it is estimated that only Tang Yuqian had this medicine. The most direct and effective way to get pure yang pill is to attack Tang Yuqian. But Tang Yuqian made him feel terrified, so he hesitated. The player Zhang Yang was eliminated. An indifferent voice like electronic sound suddenly sounded. Yi Xiaofeng was stunned. So fast? How did this person die? At this moment, a panicked voice came from outside the lobby, someone is dead. Someone is dead. Yi Xiaofeng and others ran out immediately. After did not run for long, Yi Xiaofeng started panting and had to stop to take medicine. Looking at the distant figures of Wang Yanran and Tang Yuqian, he cried in his heart. He didn't even run as fast as a woman. And that fat lady. Admire me when you say good? Don't know if you come and carry me a ride? Yi Xiaofeng walked tremblingly. This city lord's mansion is bigger than the Wang's mansion, just like wandering in the scenic spot, it is too torturous for a vain man like him. Yi Xiaofeng spit out while rushing in the direction where Tang Yuqian and others were leaving. Came to a courtyard. Dozens of people gathered here, and Yi Xiaofeng squeezed in with difficulty. I saw Tang Yuqian and Wang Yanran standing in front of a corpse, with a few people standing beside them, among them Zheng Shu. Yi Xiaofeng looked at the corpse. This corpse had a terrible death. There were many handprints on its chest. The eyeballs were taken away, making people feel hairy in broad daylight. In other words, when you found the corpse, he was already lying here. A woman with short black hair looked at a servant and asked. The slave nodded in horror, and tremblingly said, I rushed to hear a strange laughter, and saw him lying here. I didn't expect to be haunted during the day, so I went to check. He couldn't say anything afterwards. Yi Xiaofeng raised his eyebrows. In this way, Tang Yuqian is not the real murderer. After all, she was in the lobby with him at the time. Zheng Shu walked to Yi Xiaofeng and asked, Brother Zhang, did you have a clue just now? Yi Xiaofeng frowned and said, this mansion is extremely yin-qi, and there are resentments everywhere, so evil spirits can commit crimes in the daytime. The players are all ordinary people, even if they have the ability to refine qi, they can't become a real monk. To be distinguished from them, Yi Xiaofeng must throw something. Even if it's nonsense, I still have to say it, making everyone think he is unpredictable. As predicted. When he said this, everyone around looked at him. Wang Yanran asked, Master Zhang, do you have a way to get rid of evil? Yi Xiaofeng's face was solemn, and said, this person should be more than just a ghost. I am afraid that the evil monk is doing a ghost. The evil ghost will not stay in one place, especially when there are too many people. If I walked in the way back then, how can I allow him to make trouble? Daoxing back then? The eyes of some people looked at him suddenly changed. The short-haired woman stepped forward, bowed her hands, and asked, this young man is also here for a reward. It's time to talk. Yi Xiaofeng hadn't spoken yet. Wang Yanran snorted, how could it be possible that young Master Zhang in my family is an expert, chivalrous, and I let him come? As for money, if he marries me, he won't lack anything. Everyone was ashamed, looking at her figure, and then at the appearance of Yi Xiaofeng's kidney deficiency, they didn't dare to imagine. Although Yi Xiaofeng was a little embarrassed, Wang Yanran became pleasing to his eyes. Not bad, good, conscious. In this way, he can put aside his identity as a player. The short-haired woman suddenly realized that she walked over immediately and whispered, Senior, I want to chat with you alone, can I? Zheng Shu frowned, this lady wants to my NPC? Just as he was about to speak, Yi Xiaofeng agreed. The two left quickly. Zheng Shu is depressed. Wang Yanran shook his fan and snorted coldly, there are always fairies who want to hook up with my Zhang's son. Unfortunately, it's useless, my Zhang's son can't be messed up. Her words drew a lot of laughter from live audiences and online audiences. Any normal man can sit back and relax when he meets you. The other side. Yi Xiaofeng followed the short-haired woman to an empty corridor. The little girl's name is Hong Linyu. I don't know if the senior has clues, I would like to exchange my clues with you. The short-haired woman said sternly. Yi Xiaofeng nodded slightly without changing the color. He didn't rush to say it, let's take a look at Hong Linyu's reaction. Hong Linyu guessed his intentions after seeing his reaction, so he said, I inquired about a secret of a Tang City master's daughter, which may be related to the murder. It is said that 12 years ago, Tang Yuqian went to a demon cultivator and obtained demon skills, but was discovered by the city lord of Tang, forcibly brought back, strictly forbidden to practice demon skills. Tang Yuqian practiced magic skills? Yi Xiaofeng squinted slightly, no wonder he felt creepy in the lobby before. However, it cannot be directly inferred that Tang Yuqian is the murderer. Yi Xiaofeng shook his head and said, that's it. Before Hong Linyu could answer, he continued, the deceased had blood fingerprints on their bodies. You can check from this aspect. If you behave well, the case is over and I will reward you with some benefits. After speaking, he started to cough. Benefit? Hong Linyu suddenly short of breath, and asked, "Why do you want to benefit me?" Yi Xiaofeng's face is pale. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com said, "People are about to die. Tang City Lord is a well-known and upright person. If I can help him get revenge, it is also considered to promote the righteous spirit. I am willing to reward a person with outstanding knowledge. Turns out to be dying." Hong Linyu is completely convinced that Yi Xiaofeng is an NPC. "Senior, don't worry, I will never let you down." Hong Linyu immediately promised, then turned and left. Yi Xiaofeng's live broadcast screen began to flash 666. Yi Xiaofeng couldn't help coughing a few times, then turned and left. "This city lord mansion is too dangerous. You will die during the day. He can't stay here, first go back and try the pure Yang 5 sword art." Yi Xiaofeng walked in a hurry. He didn't take those lonely roads, afraid of being attacked and killed by the murderer. When passing by a stone arch, he suddenly stopped. He looked up, and saw red light in the cracks above the archway. Chance! Yi Xiaofeng immediately stood on his toes and digged into the cracks in the rock with his fingers. There is a piece of paper in. Is hard to pick. The audience is interested, isn't it? This guy has found the baby again. It shouldn't be. What can be hidden in such a small crack? 666. If he finds a cheat again, I will call him father. Young man, don't need milk, be careful of slaps. Look at his trembling body, I want to do it for him. After buckling for a while, Yi Xiaofeng finally pulled out a piece of yellow paper. Is written in dense small characters. Dan Feng. Slow life pill. The effect is to make the dead live longer. So many words? Is it really a clue? Is it another cheat? Why is this man with kidney deficiency so lucky? It's fake, I'm afraid it's a love letter from people. Did this guy bring money into the group and hang up? Look at the other players again, really, the harder you work, the more sad. Seeing Yi Xiaofeng found something again, everyone exploded. This luck is too good. Easy to find the cheats before, now find the hidden clues. The audience at the recording site was also in an uproar and began to talk. Yi Xiaofeng quickly put the Dan Feng in his arms, then turned and left. He walked, while thinking. Slow life pill. Let the deceased live a little longer, why does this thing sound wrong? Yi Xiaofeng frowned. He felt that this was not only as simple as Dan Feng, but might be related to the case of the city lord's mansion. Will some of the dead have died long ago, but their lives were prolonged by the pill of suspension, and an alibi was created for the murderer? The more he thought about it, the more he realized it was possible. His footsteps began to speed up. Walked for nearly 10 minutes before he found the door to go out. A bald man suddenly stopped him. This person is a big man with a big scar on his right face. He looks very hideous, with a big knife on his back. In front of him, Yi Xiaofeng is just like a little chicken. Hey, I heard that there were dead people again today, or they died during the day. Why are you running out in such a hurry? Are you a murderer? The bald man said coldly. His voice was so loud that many people turned their heads immediately. It seems. Yi Xiaofeng was speechless, and said with no good air, You see me like this, can you kill people? Then who knows, try it with me. The bald man grinned. After speaking, he pulled out the big knife behind his back, ready to shoot. Yi Xiaofeng was furious, and said, In broad daylight, the bones of the Tang City Lord are not cold, you still want to commit a crime in the City Lord's mansion, what do you mean? He yelled deliberately for everyone to hear. People tend to sympathize with the weak. Yi Xiaofeng does not look like a vicious murderer. Looking at the bald man, this image and arrogant attitude are not good at first sight. People began to point, and even the bold ones even directly condemned the bald guy. The audience in reality also began to complain, this person is a bit silly, isn't this directly revealing that he is a evil cultivator? Maybe Xieshu's mission is to kill people. Zhang Junyi is over. Dog luck is dog luck. If you are not strong enough, you can't survive. Should not be able to do it. If he does it, he will definitely be regarded as a murderer. There are many officers and soldiers in this city lord mansion, all of which are under the order of Tang Yuqian. The host also noticed Yi Xiaofeng. There are a total of 50 players. Although Yi Xiaofeng's live broadcast has been screened, it still accounts for a small percentage compared to the overall audience. The two players started to face each other tit for tat, and I don't know if player Yi Xiaofeng can escape the danger. The host didn't favor anyone. What if the bald guy won in the end? Yi Xiaofeng silently took out a piece of talisman paper from his arms, and said, I am Zhang Junyi walking around the world, the strong and support the weak, and never bully others at will, but if you provoke me so much, if you want to act as a killer, don't blame me for being polite. Today I will let you know what a spell is. After that, he made a pinch gesture suddenly, and the big bald man was scared back immediately. The bald guy frowned, and said in secret, this guy is not a player. Looking at Yi Xiaofeng's appearance, he doesn't look like a novice cultivator. He hesitated suddenly. Seeing his expression, Yi Xiaofeng suddenly guessed his thoughts. At any rate, Yi Xiaofeng is also a rebirth. He often deals with business in his life. Observing words, telling lies, cheating, and not beating are already passive skills. The old gentleman of Shangqing, heaven and earth, boundless ways, punish evil. Yi Xiaofeng said solemnly. This formation. The bald man was frightened and hurriedly shouted, brother, I was wrong. I just frightened you and wanted to defraud you. I will apologize to you now, don't be angry. He believes that his physical fitness is outstanding, but he has not obtained such advanced spells even when he enters the game. It is impossible for other players. He kicked the iron plate. The opponent is an NPC. And is a very strong hidden master. Yi Xiaofeng frowned, stopped chanting, and smiled in his heart. But he was still very angry on the surface, and said, the city lord's mansion has been so nervous recently, don't you act like this to create chaos. I was wrong. I was really wrong, I won't dare to do it next time. The bald man smiled shyly. For the bonus, he has to bear it. Yi Xiaofeng snorted coldly, and walked away. The crowd watching the excitement in front of the gate stepped aside, not daring to stop him. After walking out of the gate of the city lord's mansion, Yi Xiaofeng quietly breathed a sigh of relief. Made. Really tests the psychological quality. The viewers who watched his live broadcast window are all scoring 6666. Nubian, this acting. To be honest, if we were not from the perspective of God, I would really think he was an NPC. He has a city that is different from his age. Ha ha ha, it's amazing, I suddenly felt that he could be in the top 3. His strategy is very good. Others are busy searching for information, but he retreats in a rush. He feels like an NPC. Picking up cheats and frightening off powerful enemies, Yi Xiaofeng's popularity began to skyrocket. Before, his popularity among the contestants of the first episode of the show did not even make the top 20, but now it has risen all at once. After left the city lord's mansion, Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Yi Xiaofeng took medicine while walking towards the Wang's mansion. He didn't take a detour, and moved forward according to his memory. Half an hour later, he returned to his room. He took a breath. He drank a bowl of water first, then meditated on the bed with his legs crossed. Took out the pure Yang 5 sword art, Yi Xiaofeng's hands were shaking. The audience held their breath and wanted to see the pure Yang 5 sword Ju. But they can only watch from a third-person perspective, and cannot see the contents of the pure Yang 5 sword Ju from close range. Yi Xiaofeng checked it carefully. The pure Yang 5 Sword Ju is not only a sword Ju, but also contains a set of methods for receiving qi. You must first learn the law of luck, and then master the moves, in order to truly display the power of the pure Yang 5 sword art. Pure Yang 5 Swords Ju, as the name suggests, can drive up to 5 swords. But the most powerful aspect of this sword art is the state of no sword. Practicing to great success, using qi to transform the sword. Yi Xiaofeng began to breathe according to luck. The viewers of the live broadcast can only see him meditating, but can't see the tactics, which makes people very angry. This game is so real, it feels like acting. Let's see if these people can really obtain the method of cultivating immortals. I feel that the official is bragging. How can the things in the novel really exist? If you don't blow like that, would you be willing to spend 5,000 alliance coins to buy a game warehouse? If you can really get the method of immortality and the way of immortality in the game, what are the 5,000 alliance coins and the follow-up nutrient solution and maintenance cost of the game warehouse? Look first, anyway, the game is not in public beta. Don't just see the good ones. The pain of this game is also real. Ordinary people go in to find sin. Yi Xiaofeng's practice involves directly meditating until dark. Because he has been cultivating, most of the audience in his live broadcast window has retreated. On various video websites, the live broadcast room of Heavenly Fairy Game has a small window. The main live room is controlled by the live recording of the program group. The small window is a single shot of the players, and you can always follow a player's every move. A move. It is boring to watch a person meditate for a long time. But there is a group of boring people in this world who like to see others boring. Night. Yi Xiaofeng was suddenly hungry. He couldn't quit the game, so he could only go out to find food. At the moment of participating in the festival, the instructor told him that the game compartment contains nutrient solution. After the player enters the game, the conveying tube of the game compartment will automatically penetrate into his throat and deliver the nutrient solution according to his eating action and swallowing frequency. In other words, if he has not eaten in the game compartment will not automatically deliver the nutrient solution. Also includes going to the toilet. Before the player enters the game, he must be on an empty stomach, so that the excrement is not too large, and the excretion tube can be used to drain the sewage. It is worth mentioning that this excretion tube is very mysterious, and it will automatically shrink after the player exits the game. Before, Yi Xiaofeng just felt that the waistband was loose. Maybe loose because the excretion tube is squeezed. I have to say that this setting is a bit weird, and it can make Yi Xiaofeng's brain fill a lot of pictures. After walking out of the courtyard, Yi Xiaofeng found a subordinate and talked about his needs. The next person was very polite to him and immediately promised to send the food to his house. Yi Xiaofeng returned to the house. After practicing for a whole afternoon, the aura in his body has slightly increased, not very obvious. No wonder the cultivator in the novel needs to spend a lot of time in retreat. Half an hour later, a maid brought the food. Yi Xiaofeng got up and walked to the table. This maid looks pretty sweet. After the maid brought the food to the table, she lifted the plate and prepared to leave. Yi Xiaofeng glanced, 3 dishes and 1 soup, not bad, worthy of a big family. The maid turned her head suddenly, and stopped talking. Yi Xiaofeng noticed her expression and asked with a smile, "Girl, if you have anything you want to say, just say it. Is this to trigger hidden clues?" The maid hesitated and said, "Master Zhang, you'd better not go out recently. The palace is haunted, and the evil spirit may come from the city lord's mansion." The palace is haunted? Yi Xiaofeng frowned. He suddenly thought of something. Wang Yanran and Tang Yuqian are best friends. According to the plot, this relationship must be worthy of scrutiny. Could it be that this royal mansion is also suspected? Yi Xiaofeng asked calmly, "How is the relationship between the Wang family master and the Tang city lord?" The maid replied, "It's very good. Every time Junyang city is short of money, my master will invest in it. The Lord of Tang City also rewarded my master with a plaque for this. The relationship between the young lady and Miss Tang is also very good, and we have grown up together since childhood. Grow up together? Yi Xiaofeng squinted his eyes and asked, I remember Miss Tang went out to apprentice art when she was a child, so did Miss Wang follow. The maid opened her eyes and asked strangely, how do you know? Yi Xiaofeng smiled and said, I met Miss Tang in the city lord's mansion today and learned about it, but don't tell me, now that the Tang family has caused such a big trouble, don't cause unprovoked misfortune to the palace. Upon hearing this, the maid nodded her head. After that, Yi Xiaofeng asked a few more questions, and made sure that there was no other clue to understand, so he let the maid go away. After closing the door, Yi Xiaofeng's expression instantly darkened. This palace is not a magic cave. Yi Xiaofeng's forehead overflowed with cold sweat. Tang Yuqian went out to apprentice magic cultivator when he was a child, and Wang Yanran accompanied him. Didn't it mean that the two girls might have practiced magic skills? Wang Yanran is even afraid of ordinary bandits, so what did she learn back then? Still, she deliberately pretended not to know her skills? The more he thinks about it, the more creepy he gets. The audience also began to discuss fiercely, I rub, this fat lady is hiding so deep. Yi Xiaofeng is in danger, entangled in such a hidden figure. In fact, it's okay, the next door directly reincarnated as a disciple of the blood leader. Blood Master? Is it the handprint that appeared in the city lord's mansion? Yes, the head of blood was very angry when he learned of this, thinking that someone was embarrassing them, so he sent his disciples to investigate. In addition to the head of blood, people from the court have also come. Yi Xiaofeng does not know as much information as the audience, but he instinctively feels the dangerous approach. Never go out tonight. Yi Xiaofeng closed the door of the room first, and then ate the food cautiously. Blinked. Late at night. The Wang family mansion is unusually quiet. I don't know if it is a psychological effect. Yi Xiaofeng always thinks it is a ghost house. Gloomy. Yi Xiaofeng had trouble falling asleep this night. A little wind and grass will make him frightened. Although he was scared, the audience watching the live broadcast was very happy. One night passed. Morning. Yi Xiaofeng got up and left. As soon as he walked out of the courtyard, he met Wang Yanran. Oh, Zhang Gongzi, why do you look more imaginary, did you keep thinking about me last night? Wang Yanran twisted the bucket and walked over and asked with a smile. Yi Xiaofeng gave a fake cough and said, maybe it's because the water and soil are not accustomed to it. He wanted to move out of the Wang family mansion, but reasoned that once he moved out, he would be surprised. Wang Yanran said sternly, stop laughing, young Master Zhang, I think your condition is not right. Do you need tonic? When Yi Xiaofeng heard this, he suddenly had an idea. He sighed, what I lost is yang qi, and ordinary tonics are useless. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Even if Wang Yanran is suspected of being a murderer, he has a love for him anyway, he might be able to use Wang Yanran to obtain pure yang pill. I will help you investigate these few days. As for the clues of the murder in the city lord's mansion, I will tell you every night, don't go out, I'm afraid you will have an accident. Wang Yanran persuaded, her voice was very gentle. Yi Xiaofeng said solemnly, don't be afraid of death, I have to find a murderer for Tang City Lord. Wang Yanran continued to persuade him. He was really awkward, so he agreed to Wang Yanran. After Wang Yanran left, Yi Xiaofeng began to wander around the Wang's mansion. He found the pure Yang 5-sword Ju at the Wang family mansion, and he might have other gains. The player Zhou Shanshan was eliminated. The player Pan Qiner was eliminated. 2 consecutive reminders sounded, it seems that the 2 people died together. Yi Xiaofeng shook his head, not paying attention. The Wang family mansion is very large, but there are not many people. Yi Xiaofeng found that the Wang family was very mysterious and could not see him at all. He found a subordinate and asked. It turned out that the Wang family had been out for more than 10 days. Wang Yanran went to the city lord's mansion, and the king's master was out, so Yi Xiaofeng could confidently search boldly. Hard work pays off. More than an hour later, Yi Xiaofeng saw a red light under a big tree next to the cottage. There are overgrown weeds here, no one takes care of it. After making sure that there are no people around, he opened the weeds. The red light was buried in the soil, the red light dissipated, and a scabbard appeared. Yi Xiaofeng surprises. Is it a powerful sword? The audience exploded. Why did this dog pick up the baby again? Yi Xiaofeng grabbed the scabbard and tried to pull it out. As a result, he pulled out a few times, but he didn't pull it out. Instead, he pulled out panting, so scared that he quickly took out the pills to restore his blood. After breathing smoothly, he began to dig up the mud around the scabbard, and then pull out the scabbard. After digging a few times, the lower end of the scabbard appeared, and there was a bone clutching the scabbard. How come there are bones? Yi Xiaofeng frowned, thinking that he might have found some incredible clues. He continued to dig. The barrage of watching his live broadcast began to proliferate. This Wang family mansion is really not easy. You said, will it be the prince of the Wang family who went out before? Even if it is, who killed him? May have to trigger the side story. How do I feel that the water in the Wang family mansion is deeper than the city lord mansion, and there are more opportunities. This child is too lucky and must be killed. About 3 minutes later, he pulled out the scabbard and the bones of his hand. There is the outline of white bones in the mud, and it seems that there is a complete bone buried in the mud. It took a long time for Yi Xiaofeng to tear off the hand bones from the scabbard. He quickly buried the hand bones, then got up and left. This is a short sword, not much longer than a dagger, he can hide it in his sleeve. After returning to his room, Yi Xiaofeng closed the door, then sat at the table and took out the short sword. The dagger was stained with mud and dried blood, giving it a feeling of evil. Yi Xiaofeng will grab the hilt of the sword and draw the blade out. The sword light shone, and a piece of cloth was thrown out of the scabbard. Yi Xiaofeng put down the dagger and picked up the piece of cloth. There were dense small characters written on it, and the game appeared to be Chinese characters. This sword is the sword of my pure Yangman, the green nose sword, which is forged from millennia of green steel, and is also a token of the owner of the pure Yangman. With this sword and letters, you can become the owner of the pure Yangman. Yi Xiaofeng saw the first paragraph, and his heart beat quickly. But seeing the next paragraph, his excitement cooled again. Now I am the only one left at the Pure Yang Gate, but the fire of Pure Yang never ceases. Those who have obtained this letter, if I hadn't taught it personally, would have died. Have to. Chen Yangman is a polished commander, and it's still dead. Next is self-introduction. This boy turned out to be the king's master. Chunyang Gate offended the demon road and the court 100 years ago, and was slaughtered all over the gate. The Wang family master was the only disciple who escaped. In order to hide his identity, he started doing business. This huge Chunyang city was actually managed by him alone, and just like that, the Tang city lord respected him very much, and even worshipped him as a teacher. Before Wang Yanran, the Wang family had a few children, all of whom died. It was not until old age that Wang Yanran had a daughter. In order to avoid Wang Yanran's death, he taught Wang Yanran the pure Yangman technique. However, the 5 swords of pure Yang reaches Yang, causing Wang Yanran to lose balance between Yin and Yang, so he is as fat as a pig. After that, it was nonsense, and there was no secret book or clues related to the death of Tang City Lord. Will it be the demon sect that destroyed the pure Yangman back then? Yi Xiaofeng thoughtfully. The audience is very anxious. The font of this letter is too small for them to see it at all. The live broadcast of Heavenly Fairy Game is very human. Any screen that involves privacy will automatically black out, and the screen will not be zoomed in most of the time unless it hits it at the right angle. Before, the Pure Yang 5 Sword Ju, but the name on the cover is big and easy to be seen, and the content inside is also invisible to the audience. Otherwise, if you can learn the secrets of cultivating immortals in the game by watching the live broadcast, why do you enter the game for adventure? The hearts of the audience are like cat scratching. What does that letter write? It seems to be important information. It shouldn't be a cheat book. Blind guessing is a letter left by the Wang family. Holmes Bao Qingtian per capita barrage. The facts of the case are getting more and more interesting. It is worthy of being a fairy game. From the murder case to the disputes in the cultivation world, I don't know what model it will be after the public beta. Someone died in the city lord's mansion. This time it was a fight between the players. Yi Xiaofeng hid the green nose sword above the cabinet, and then tucked the letter directly in the crotch. If you encounter an old man from Cheniangmen in the future, this letter may be effective. The Wang family master said that Chunyang Gate was destroyed, but he always felt that there might be descendants who survived. Since knowing that there may be a real way of cultivating immortals in the game of Heavenly Dao Xianxia, Yi Xiaofeng has made up his mind to keep playing. With his supernatural powers, it can definitely be mixed. After Hid, Yi Xiaofeng continued to practice the Pure Yang 5 Sword Ju's method of receiving qi. Every once in a while, he will hear the prompt that the player is eliminated. Blinked, most of the day passed. Came about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yi Xiaofeng calculated that 12 players have already been eliminated. The elimination speed is still very fast. Young Master Zhang, come out soon, let's go to the city lord's mansion, something has happened to the city lord's mansion. Wang Yanran's voice came from outside the door, very anxious. Yi Xiaofeng immediately got up and opened the door. As soon as the door opened, Wang Yanran's fat hand grabbed Yi Xiaofeng, dragged him out, and pulled him away quickly. Miss Wang, don't drag me, I can go by myself. Yi Xiaofeng exclaimed anxiously. He was already panting. Wang Yanran said anxiously, no, you are too slow, hurry up, Yuqian is dying. Tang Yuqian is dying? Yi Xiaofeng suddenly became nervous when he heard it. Protecting Tang Yuqian is also one of his side tasks. Although it is not necessary, if Tang Yuqian dies, his hope of getting Pure Yang Pill will be even slimmer. So far, no news of Pure Yang Pill has spread. Thinking of this, Yi Xiaofeng also quickened his pace. City Lord's Mansion. In a lobby. Tang Yuqian was sitting on a chair with a pale face. On both sides were chaotic servants, and a group of monks, officers, and soldiers gathered in the hall. Everyone stared at Tang Yuqian, looking nervous. Tang Yuqian has handprints on her chest, which is shocking. Who is the disciple of the blood leader at the scene? You can stand up. The bald man who had made trouble for Yi Xiaofeng said in a deep voice. The voice fell, and everyone looked at each other. A few seconds passed. 7 monks stood up. Zhang Shu is secretly speechless. So much? He suddenly felt that his identity was a bit mediocre. He is just a wandering monk, let's look at others. Blood Master Disciple. The court arrests quickly. A beautiful female disciple with the head of the blood said, if only the fingerprints were used to infer the murderer, the case would not have been delayed for so long. Such an obvious culprit can be seen in elementary school, a 3-year-old child. Contestant. Many people's eyes flickered to see through the true identity of this woman. There are no elementary school students in the world of comprehension. This woman's psychological quality is not good, it was exposed so soon. Once you reveal your identity, you will die soon. The mission of the evil repairer is to kill other players, because the evil repairer is not protected by the heavens, killing innocent people indiscriminately, and easily getting into the evil, but if you kill the player, you won't be condemned by the heavens. How did the brothers in front know? I opened 3 live broadcast rooms at the same time, how do you tell me? I think it was Tang Yuqian who called the thief to catch the thief, because many players already suspected that she killed her father. When the scenes of the recording scene were concentrated in the lobby of the City Lord's mansion, countless viewers who watched Game of Heavenly Dao began to analyze. Most of the players eliminated before were exposed and murdered by other players. Righteous monks, evil cultivators, and demonic cultivators, the 3 camps are opposed to each other. Investigating homicides and confronting mysterious masters is too dangerous. Compared with that, it is easier to kill players to earn points. The dispute in the hall is getting fiercer. Tang Yuqian was expressionless, looking at everyone present coldly, as if guessing who was the real culprit. A head catcher pushed away from the crowd and stepped forward. He looks like he is in his early 40s, is short and sturdy, with a knife on his waist. He stared at Tang Yuqian, and said solemnly, "Miss Tang, is there anyone suspected?" Tang Yuqian shook her head and said, "Su Keitu, the man is wearing a mask, he is not tall, but he is not short, thin and weak, making it difficult to distinguish between men and women." Su catches the head catcher of Junyang Cheng. Although he is not a comprehensionist, he is also a master of martial arts. Su Huta glanced at the crowd and said, "Recently, there have been more and more murders in the City Lord's mansion. I suspect that it is not the evil spirit. After you enter the City Lord's mansion, you must not leave again to prevent the murderer from escaping. In addition, if there are evil ghosts, so many people gather here for a long time, and they can always expel evil spirits. The officers and soldiers sent by the Imperial Court have blocked the City Lord mansion. From now on, the City Lord mansion can only enter, not exit." His tone is stern, and no one can refute it. As soon as this remark came out, everyone became agitated. Staying in the City Lord's mansion is really disturbing. Yi Xiaofeng followed Wang Yanran into the lobby. He just heard Su Data's words, and he suddenly cried out badly. No wonder Wang Yanran called him, "This is the power of the plot." Wang Yanran walked over quickly and shouted, "Yuqian, are you okay? I invited Master Zhang here. He knows magic and can help you get rid of evil spirits." Her words caused everyone to turn their heads to look at Yi Xiaofeng. Being an ordinary person, facing the attention of so many people, I must be nervous. But Yi Xiaofeng was a man from 2 generations. He was already an old fried dough stick with a thick skin. He pretended to be calm, and Yusha walked away in the wind. Before he came to Tang Yuqian, he couldn't help coughing. Everyone's eyes changed. Is this guy really an expert? Zheng Shu, Hong Linyu, the bald man, and the players who have seen Yi Xiaofeng before are secretly looking forward to it. They all thought Yi Xiaofeng was an expert. Yi Xiaofeng walked up to Tang Yuqian and asked, "How is Miss Tang?" Seeing the handprint on Tang Yuqian's chest, he wondered who did it. Judging from what he currently knows, Wang Yanran is the most likely. Of course, he probably hasn't touched the real murderer yet. After all, he spends most of his time in the house to practice. "I'm fine, Zhang Gongzi, you have to be careful, that person seems to be a ghost. My hand can penetrate his body, but he can easily hurt me." Tang Yuqian shook her head. Everyone was shocked when he said this. Ghost? Yi Xiaofeng also frowned slightly, not knowing whether this woman was true or not. Su Buta looked at Yi Xiaofeng for a while, then let everyone go, each find a place to stay in the City Lord's mansion, and will not leave the City Lord's mansion for the next few days. As soon as they walked out of the lobby, Zheng Shu and Hong Linyu caught up. "Brother Zhang! Senior!" The 2 shouted in unison, and then looked at each other at the same time, both showing uncomfortable expressions. Zheng Shu turned to look at Yi Xiaofeng, and continued, "Brother Zhang, let's go together, walking alone is too dangerous." "I think so too." Hong Linyu followed. Yi Xiaofeng felt that they should not belong to a group, so he nodded in agreement. In fact, he is also afraid. Although he pretends to be an NPC, he feels that he has a strong sense of existence and is likely to be dangerous. If he is a demonic or evil repairer, he would rather kill by mistake than by mistake. The three of them moved forward together, and they were exchanging information along the way. Yi Xiaofeng was full of nonsense and did not mention the Wang family mansion. As for the intelligence of Zheng Shu and Hong Linyu, he was only half trusted. From their mouths, Yi Xiaofeng learned that the Blood Sovereign and Zhengang sect were also here. Zhengongmen is the authentic sect of the nearby cultivation world. The situation in Chunyang City has become a big deal, and they have to take action and send their disciples to investigate. It is estimated that many players are from Zhengongmen. In this way, my luck is a bit bad. Yi Xiaofeng was speechless. His body was sucked into yang qi and turned into a waste material. There are only 2 talisman papers, so it can be said that even ordinary people can kill him. The players who reincarnated as sect disciples are different, with good physical conditions and helpers. The more Yi Xiaofeng thinks, the more sad. In this way, the city lord's mansion once again launched a big search, and all the people trapped here began to search for clues and murderers. Evening is coming. The player who Xin was eliminated. Another player was eliminated. Yi Xiaofeng is even more nervous. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. At this moment, the three of them searched in a courtyard. Yi Xiaofeng has not seen the red light. It seems that the chances of this city lord's mansion are not as good as the Wang's mansion. Of course, may have been searched by the players. A sneer came from outside the door, and Yi Xiaofeng instantly got goosebumps. He immediately took out a fireball talisman from his arms, and then walked out cautiously. Boom! Hong Linyu fell to the ground embarrassedly, spurting blood from his mouth and splashing all over the floor. Yi Xiaofeng turned his head to look and saw a figure in black standing above the stone arch at the courtyard exit. He was thin, wearing the mask of a opera monkey, with his right hand hanging in the air. He noticed that the right hand of the man in black was blood red, as if pulling it out of a blood tank. Zheng Shu, who was standing in the corridor opposite, shouted anxiously, "Brother Zhang, shoot, or we will die." Yi Xiaofeng immediately poured the spirit energy into the talisman paper, and shouted, "You should deal with him first." Zheng Shu heard it, cursing secretly. "I have the patience, will he still watch it here?" At the same time, the audience in the live broadcast room of the three people began to increase sharply. The news about the murderer's appearance was quickly uploaded on the internet, and the recording site quickly switched pages after the situation was discovered for the first time. The murderer has appeared again, the three players are in critical condition. The supporter yelled nervously, and the audience became nervous. Yi Xiaofeng was very nervous, but still kept calm, and asked in a deep voice, "Why do you keep committing crimes in the city lord's mansion, and what is the purpose?" He has been unable to understand. The city lord of Tang is dead, why does the murderer want to kill innocent people here? Facing Yi Xiaofeng's question, the man in black did not answer, his eyes under the mask were so cold. His right hand began to clench, as if grasping something invisible, a trace of blood hovering around his right palm, looking very scary. "The purpose is to kill everyone here," the man in black said coldly. His voice was cold, there was no emotion at all, and it was difficult to tell whether he was a man or a woman. After finished, he jumped up, like a demon cat, pounced on Yi Xiaofeng. So fast! Yi Xiaofeng stepped back in fear, and at the same time urged the talisman paper. Spiritual power touches the spell, and a fireball shoots out directly. The man in black had no time to escape during the descent. Not far away, Zheng Shu and Hong Linyu, who fell to the ground, opened their eyes wide, and both became excited. "Is really a master. One trick is deadly." After landing, the man in black struggled frantically, but could not extinguish the flame on his body. Yi Xiaofeng is pleasantly surprised, this fireball technique is so powerful? The audience also exploded, such a big fireball. I thought it was a small flame, but I didn't expect it to be a violent fire. In fact, it's okay. It's not very big, but it expands quickly when it hits someone. Awesome, do you want to pass the level directly? 666, the murderer out, the game is over. Murder, MMP, I haven't shown my face yet. Under the attention of countless people, the man in black wrapped in flames suddenly turned into a burst of black smoke and dissipated. He was in the air, and his cold and murderous voice came out, "You wait for me. I want you to die very painful." When the voice fell, the black smoke disappeared completely. Yi Xiaofeng and the three were stunned. A chill filled their hearts. Is it really a ghost? Zheng Shu came over, looked at Hong Linyu, and asked, "Are you okay?" Hong Linyu smiled miserably, "No. I feel like I'm going to die." How does death feel? It is difficult for ordinary people to know. Hong Linyu also felt it for the first time. Her smile was more desperate. The handprint on her chest became more and more red, and it was her blood that was overflowing. She obviously felt that her body was getting lighter and lighter, and an unspeakable pain was increasing. Zheng Shu was silent. Yi Xiaofeng stood by and shook his head slightly. If Zheng Shu kills Hong Linyu, then Yi Xiaofeng has reason to suspect that he is not a righteous monk. After thinking about it, he turned and left, ready to call someone to rescue Hong Linyu. Saving people is not good for him, but at least it can increase the popularity of passers-by and make others think that he is not a bad person. Tang Yuqian will be more likely to trust him behind. Hong Linyu suddenly screamed, she screamed heartbreakingly, clutching her face with her hands, extremely ferocious. Yi Xiaofeng and Zheng Shu were scared. Immediately afterwards, Hong Linyu's body surface began to pump blood, so miserable that Yi Xiaofeng couldn't bear to look directly. What kind of vicious hand is this? You move fast, go and call someone. Yi Xiaofeng urged. Zheng Shu immediately turned around and ran, leaving the courtyard quickly. Yi Xiaofeng turned his head and looked around, not wanting to see Hong Linyu. The audience is the same, but it's not the first time they have seen it. The players who died before are also so miserable, life is not as good as death before death. No wonder the league opened the show first and then the public beta, it was really scary. The pain in the game is the same as the reality, so in a game world without legal restrictions, it is very dangerous, and it is easy to cause mental disorders. This game must not be played by children. It's terrible, this is the first script. Will you encounter more terrifying things later? I suddenly don't want to play. It's okay, we just stay away from disputes. While the audience was discussing, Yi Xiaofeng suddenly saw a red light appearing in the place where the man in black had been burnt. He immediately went up to look, and saw a piece of cloth that looked like human skin lying in the flame. No matter how the flame burned, it couldn't be scorched. He stepped on it with his foot, extinguished the small fire on the ground, and then picked up the piece of cloth. It's very risky. Fortunately, this flame won't eat me back. Yi Xiaofeng thought with joy. Maybe the flame is too small. He opened the cloth and looked carefully. In the next second, his pupils suddenly shrank. Blood palm. The head of the blood is unique. This is the practice method of blood fiend palm. Yi Xiaofeng looked back and found that Hong Linyu had passed out in pain. He immediately bent over and took off his shoes, stuffed the palm cheats into the shoes, and put them on again. The barrage starts to refresh the screen directly, Dogecoin. I found a cheat again. The method and response of this hiding thing are too fast. It's definitely a cheat. Nima, this is great luck. Remember him, his name is Yi Xiaofeng. This, kill monsters and explosive equipment. It's amazing, I didn't notice anything hidden in the fire just now. Not long after Yi Xiaofeng hid, Zheng Shu came with a large group of people. Tang Yuqian and Wang Yanran also came. All are waiting outside, don't step in. Su Kata shouted loudly, and he immediately ran to Hong Linyu. His face changed drastically, and Hong Linyu's eyelids were suppressed at a speed visible to the naked eye. Her eyeballs melted. Yi Xiaofeng and Zheng Shu noticed this scene and were shocked. It turns out that those dead who didn't have eyeballs weren't poached away. This handprint is too insidious. Yi Xiaofeng was fiery in his heart. Such a powerful palm technique must be practiced. The player Lin Jiajia was eliminated. Lin Jiajia, this is Hong Linyu's real name. Yi Xiaofeng is indifferent, after all, this is just a game, not really dead. What happened before? Su Cat turned his head to look at Yi Xiaofeng, and asked in a deep voice. Yu reading www.yuyuganshu.com. Without waiting for Yi Xiaofeng's answer, Zheng Shu took the lead to explain for him. When Zheng Shu finished speaking, Su Buta fell silent. Everyone outside the stone arch looked at each other. Tang Yuqian opened the mouth and said, "It is indeed the same as the person I met, wearing a monkey mask." Wang Yanran looked at Yi Xiaofeng nervously. His gentle eyes like a husband made him a little unbearable. "In that case, you are not to blame for this matter. You continue to search for clues and I will have her body taken away." Su caught his head and waved his hand, his tone was very impatient. Yi Xiaofeng left immediately, followed by Zheng Shu. When passing by Tang Yuqian, she reminded, "Master Zhang, you have to be careful, that person will not let go." Yi Xiaofeng tilted his head to look at her, and smiled, "Then Miss Tang too, if you have any trouble, please call me at any time." Tang Yuqian nodded. After the two left, the sky also darkened. As night fell, the city lord's mansion became brightly lit. Yi Xiaofeng and Zheng Shu stopped under a big tree and began to meditate and rest. Not far from the kitchen courtyard, many people gathered in front of the kitchen door, waiting for the meal. Yi Xiaofeng has been looking for a chance to write down the cultivation method of the blood evil palm. In this way, even if he is eliminated, he can still practice in reality. But the pure Yang 5 sword Ju plus the blood fiend palm is not so easy to memorize. Since childhood, Yi Xiaofeng's academic performance has not been good, and even his ability to recite is worrying. Yi Xiaofeng suddenly heard the sound of a stone falling. He opened his eyes and saw Wang Yanran standing behind the arch and beckoning him to pass. In the night, this woman was like a bear, making him feel frightened.